Chapter 9. The Assessment. Elder Shen's staff struck the stone floor once. The sound echoed through the temple fall. "Today marks 6 months since your awakening ceremonies," the old mage announced. "It is time to assess your progress." The 8 student mages stood in a line, varying degrees of nervousness visible on their faces. Wei Chen kept his expression neutral, hands clasped in front of him. An assessment. Not a test, exactly. Elder Shen had made that clear. No pass or fail. Just a measurement of growth. But Wei Chen knew better. Everything was a competition, whether officially or not. "Each of you will demonstrate your most developed technique," Elder Shen continued. "I will evaluate control, precision, and practical application. This is not about raw power. It is about competence." He gestured to the first student. "Begin." The Earth Mage went first, a girl named Mei, quiet and methodical. She knelt, placed her hands on the stone floor, and channeled. A small pillar of rock rose slowly, growing to knee height before she released it. "Adequate," Elder Shen said. "Your control is stable, but slow. Work on formation speed." Mei bowed and stepped back. One of the water students went next. He created a sphere of water that floated for perhaps 10 seconds before collapsing. "Unstable. You're fighting the water instead of guiding it. Practice daily." The student looked disappointed, but nodded. Another water mage, then the fire student, a boy named Chen, no relation to Wei Chen's family, who managed to create a sustained flame in his palm for 30 seconds. Impressive for a beginner, especially with fire magic so rare on the Western lands. "Well done," Elder Shen said. "Fire is difficult to maintain without fuel. Your efficiency is improving." Chen grinned, clearly pleased. Then came Yun Hao. He stepped forward with his usual composed confidence. No hesitation, no nervousness. "Elder, with your permission, I'd like to demonstrate water healing." Elder Shen's eyebrows rose slightly. "Proceed." Yun Hao held out his hand. Water condensed from the air, forming a small, glowing sphere above his palm. He turned to Mei, who still stood nearby. "May I?" Yun Hao asked politely. Mei looked confused, but nodded. Yun Hao gently took her hand and examined a shallow scrape on her knuckle, probably from working with stone earlier. He placed the water sphere against the wound. It glowed brighter for a moment, then dissipated. When Yun Hao pulled his hand away, the scrape was gone, healed completely. The other students gasped. Even Wei Chen felt a flicker of surprise. Healing magic? Advanced technique? Difficult for intermediate mages, let alone children who'd only trained 6 months. Elder Shen studied Yun Hao for a long moment. "Your control is exceptional. Water healing requires precise mana flow and cellular understanding. How long have you practiced this?" 2 months, Elder. "My tutor specializes in medical applications." "It shows." Elder Shen's tone held genuine approval. "Excellent work. You have strong foundations for Water Academy enrollment when you're older." Yun Hao bowed. "Thank you, Elder." He stepped back, and Wei Chen caught his eye briefly. Yun Hao's expression was neutral, but something flickered there. "Can you match that?" Challenge accepted. The remaining students went quickly. Another water mage with decent but unremarkable control. The last Earth student who could barely lift a pebble. Then Elder Shen's gaze settled on Wei Chen. "Wei Chen, your turn." Wei Chen stepped forward. The temple felt quieter suddenly, like everyone was holding their breath. He'd practiced this, refined it over weeks, a technique that demonstrated what darkness magic could do that other elements couldn't. Wei Chen raised both hands. Shadows responded instantly, not just his own shadow, but every shadow in the hall, the ones cast by pillars, by students, by Elder Shen himself. He pulled. The shadows stretched, all of them, simultaneously. They moved in different directions, some toward Wei Chen, some away, some sideways. A dozen independent shadows, each controlled separately, creating a web of darkness across the temple floor. Wei Chen held them for 5 seconds, 10, 15. Then he released. The shadows snapped back to their natural positions like rubber bands. Silence. Wei Chen lowered his hands, breathing slightly harder than usual. Multi-directional control drained stamina fast. Elder Shen's expression was unreadable. He stared at Wei Chen for what felt like an eternity. "Explain your technique," the old mage said finally. "Shadow coordination. Individual shadows can be controlled independently if the mage maintains separate mental threads for each, like holding multiple conversations at once. And you can sustain this for 15 seconds. Yes, Elder. Longer if I don't control as many simultaneously. Demonstrate with 3 shadows. Hold for 1 minute." Wei Chen complied. He chose 3 shadows, his own, Elder Shen's, and a fire student's, pulled them in different patterns, held. His core ached by the 45-second mark, but he pushed through, reached 60 seconds, released. Elder Shen nodded slowly. "Impressive. This technique has tactical applications: distraction, misdirection, area denial. Your progress is significant." Wei Chen bowed, keeping his expression neutral, even as satisfaction bloomed in his chest. Significant. From Elder Shen, that was practically glowing praise. After all demonstrations concluded, Elder Shen addressed the group. "You have all shown growth, some more than others, some with natural advantages," his gaze flicked briefly to Yun Hao, "and some through exceptional dedication," a glance at Wei Chen. He tapped his staff. "In terms of overall competence and practical ability, I would rank you as follows." The students tensed. First, Yun Hao. Superior control, advanced technique, excellent foundations. Yun Hao bowed. No surprise there. Second, Wei Chen. Innovative application, strong will, rapidly improving fundamentals. Wei Chen felt that competitive burn intensify. Second, not first. Close, but not enough. Third, Chen. Solid fire control despite elemental disadvantage. Elder Shen continued through the rankings. Wei Chen barely heard them. Second place. He'd known Yun Hao was ahead, known about the private tutor, the resources, the 2-month head start on water manipulation. Intellectually, second place was impressive. But emotionally, it wasn't enough. After the lesson, the students dispersed. Wei Chen remained, staring at the floor where his shadows had danced minutes before. "Wei Chen." He turned. Yun Hao approached, hands behind his back in that noble posture. "Your technique was remarkable," Yun Hao said. "I've never seen multi-directional shadow control. Is it difficult?" "Very. But you did it anyway," Yun Hao smiled slightly. "That's what I respect about you. You don't have advantages, no tutors, no family resources, but you find ways." Wei Chen wait his gaze. "You're still ahead." For now. Yunhao's tone wasn't mocking. If anything, it sounded eager. But you're closing the gap. That makes this interesting. Competition pushes both of us higher. Your father's iron sharpens iron philosophy? Exactly. Yunhao extended his hand. So let's keep sharpening each other. Wei Chen stared at the offered hand. This wasn't friendship exactly. It was acknowledgement, recognition between equals, or near equals. He shook. Deal. That evening, Wei Chen sat in his room with the shadow quartz, replaying the assessment in his mind. Second place. Yunhao was better, objectively, measurably better. Healing magic required precision Wei Chen couldn't match yet. But the gap was closing. 6 months ago, Yunhao could perform 15 techniques to Wei Chen's 8. Now, Yunhao was probably at 20, Wei Chen at 25 for basic manipulation, though admittedly Yunhao's techniques were more advanced. Different specializations, different advantages. Yunhao had resources. Wei Chen had determination. Which would win in the end? Wei Chen didn't know yet, but he intended to find out. He pulled out his money pouch. 1 gold, 40 silver. 40 silver short of Feng's price. 2 more months of work. Maybe less if he took extra jobs. Then he'd learn combat, real, practical fighting techniques, the kind Elder Shen didn't teach. Yunhao had a medical tutor teaching healing. Wei Chen would have a combat instructor teaching violence. Different paths, different specializations, both valuable. Wei Chen smiled in the darkness. Second place today, but not forever. Never forever.